So good first weekend, lots learned, but overall everyone did a really good job. A few learned lessons, wanted to communicate to all and reminders for those from the training day up in Manchester. So, and something you can reference. Plugging in the battery, the big USB cable can go in to either of the two slots. The GoPro cable, there's only one slot it can go in the middle. All of the excess GoPro cable I'd leave outside of the bag, and then you can neaten up the bits that you don't need. Push the battery into the thing, into the pouch this end, and it's a little bit of a snug fit deliberately, so that the cables bend round on themselves, and that helps keep them in. So that's all in neat, and then we can put that round our wrist. Umpire's coat on the outside. So if you've only got one shirt on, then it'll have to be more visible. So the cable can run from underneath, and is there. I've already got the necklace around my neck, and so it doesn't matter which side of the zip it goes. If you use this pocket, you might want it the other side. If you don't use either pocket, I'd probably go left side, just because then typically the camera would probably look slightly more left, more right arm over boulders than left arm over, but it doesn't make too much difference. Right, then plugging in the cable into the GoPro. So the cable should firstly go through the strain leaf and go from the front towards the back, and make sure that that's pulled down, and then bend round on itself and push in. And as you push it in, you'll see in the mirror the GoPro will say USB connected. If it doesn't say USB connected, there's a problem, and it's either not pushed in properly or the pie's not on, but it won't work unless we see that USB connected. And we say, even if we get to this stage, if we pulled out the cable for whatever reason, as we push it back in again, every single time, it would come up with that USB connected to start with. So that's a good check that if we're seeing that, then everything should be on and working. So that's that bit. Obviously now the most important bit is to line up the camera and make sure the tilt and the roll is right. So a couple of options to suggest to you. That I'm going to use this door up here as my reference point. So I'm going to stand, I was taught at the other day to be 4 meters away from the stumps, whatever distance you would be. So imagining the bottom of the door is the stumps. And then I'm going to line up this camera so the bottom of the door is just in the field of view of the camera. So for me that is like that. Now a couple of other options. Now firstly, you could work as a pair, that if the other umpire now has a look at where that GoPro is, you could begin, and with that lined up correctly, you'll begin to get a visual reference of how tilted forwards or back it is from me standing as I would be as a bowler's about to bowl. And after a while you get a sense of what the right tilt is. So probably to the accuracy we need, you'd see whether it's right. Another option is all phones have a spirit level app on it. If you just put the spirit level on the top, then the right amount of tilt is about 4 or 5 degrees tilted forward. So it's just a fraction tilt down. That's saying 4 degrees. So that's ample good enough. Doesn't need to be exactly to the right degree, but that's all right. Now another option that we've got that we've just been playing around with is I can now see the distance between the GoPro itself and the mount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that distance, and we're going to send some of this, we find this is useful, out to all the analysts so they can do this. But I'm going to create a space, just got some sticky sided Velcro here, and obviously I could just either, if the right amount of distance was just one piece of Velcro, I could do it, or I could Velcro it together to make it double the width, which, since I've already done this today, I know that's about right. But if it needed 2 bits of Velcro, I obviously could stick another one or whatever to create whatever the right distance is between that. And once I've done that now, all I need to do is, if I just push that so that's the same distance, I'm pretty sure, if I go back and check again, stand my 4 meters away, that's exactly right. So with that there now, I know now in between sessions, even if I'd moved it or whatever accidentally, all I need to do is push it back so that the GoPro hits that padding. That's gone to exactly the right place. And having played around with it, you know, if I took everything off and do it again, it seems to return to exactly the same position. So maybe that helps. If you're an umpire where the right amount of gap actually would be, even if I didn't have any of this on, and this was tilted so it was right up against the case, and it still needed to tilt up more to get the right field, and maybe you're an umpire that tilts forwards a little bit, then perhaps you need to do the opposite, which would be to pan out the bottom of the backplate just so that this bit pushes forwards a little bit. So you could put a little bit of padding on the underside of the inner plate just to help tilt the camera up a little bit further. So whatever helps you, but I think once you get it right for you, it would remain the same. So, you know, obviously what we all want is to make it set and leave. The final thing I'd probably suggest is you know, see when the umpires come together, the wicket fall or whatever, it's quite easy to see if the GoPro is rolled, you know, one way or the other. So you can help each other out. If you can see that the other GoPro isn't straight, then that's probably one of the harder bits to see exactly the GoPro that's on you, but help each other out, look at each other's, and then you can get it right that way too. Any other suggestions of things that you're obviously using it now and that would be helpful to other umpires, please do share. You know, we're all in the same objective of trying to make this as simple and as easy for you guys as problems. So share any problems or solutions, and hopefully, you know, it's been a great start and we can really build on it and make it as simple as reliable as possible.